Hey everybody, it's Shai here, and today I am going to be going over my Week 1 game of the NBC Season 2 versus Glob of Doom. So for this week, I had to prep really hard for the 6 mons you see on screen, because these are probably his best 6 mons outside of, the Lord himself, Gumi, that he has on his team. But I didn't think he would bring it, mainly because I thought he would spare me this week, the threat of Gumi. But the team I brought was pretty well prepared for Gumi if it did come, because I did bring Seismic Toss specifically for that on Registeel, because it doesn't have the highest base HP, besides that it's a monster. Anyway, we have Assault Vested Revocant specifically to help deal with Nidoqueen plus Rotom Heat if it is offensive. I can eat hits from both of those. I can also still take a Fleur Cannon from a non-choice or non-boosting item Magearna. I have Earthquake, Drain Punch, Ice Punch, and Shadow Sneak. Ice Punch was there for Mence, Earthquake was there for Magearna, and for, what was the other mon I had that for? Oh yeah, Nidoqueen. And then Shadow Sneak just for priority to try to pick up some kills if I need to. Then we have Vaporeon, for basically dealing with Milotic, and it also helps deal with Salamence a little bit, and deals with Nidoqueen, and that's those three members of his team. If Milotic doesn't bring Toxic, this set could destroy him. I brought Protect, Wish, Ice Beam, Scald. He can't touch me. I can't really touch him, but most he can do if he brings, unless he brings, HP Grass, that's the only way he really touches Vaporeon. And then we got Registeel with Seismic Toss, Earthquake, Thunderwave, and Stealth Rock. Stealth Rocks were there for Salamence and Rotom. Wearing both those down was going to be really important to winning this game. Thunderwave was mainly not for nothing in particular. It was just there to try to slow down some of his faster members of his team, or if Magearna tried to set up a Shift Gear on Registeel, I could Thunderwave it and then Earthquake it down in damage, so that's what the Earthquake was for. And then we brought Talonflame with Willow, Brave Bird, Taunt, Roost. We brought Taunt for if the Venusaur tries to 1v1 Talonflame, we can taunt it and prevent it from healing. Brave Bird's Talonflame was mainly here for Mega Venusaur, because I had no other real way to break it. So Talonflame was here specifically for that. And then we got Choice Specs, Electabuzz with HP Ice, Volt Switch, Thunderbolt, and Psychic. Psychic was there for the Nidoqueen and the Mega Venusaur. Hit both of them pretty hard. And then this was mainly here to try to deal with Milotic in the offensive sense. And then last but not least, we have Colossoil with Flame Orb Guts. This thing just hit his whole team like a truck. If I got Milotic below 70-ish%, and then a few of his other mons just chipped away with rocks and stuff. This thing could just run through his team, especially Mence it could still run through, because I do have Sucker Punch, and Sucker Punch does hit really hard with this mon, so I felt like I had a decent matchup going into this. I was really scared of a lot of his mons, but mainly being Magearna and Mence, both of them being two of his Z-mons, so let's just get into the battle. Start off the battle. He leads Nidoqueen, and I lead Colossoil, thinking he'll either lead Nidoqueen or Magearna. The only reason I thought he might lead Magearna, because being able to Volt Switch around my team would be really helpful at the beginning of the game. But I also thought rocks were super important versus me, so I thought if he leads Nidoqueen, that could be a great lead for me. So here, it crossed my mind, the way that he led this without, any care, that he could potentially be Shookaberry. So, to be safe, and maybe if he goes for Ice Beam, I can always come back in and Rapid Spin versus this later if I need to, or I think I can come in versus Rotom Heat and Rapid Spin versus that. So I just go ahead and go into Vaporeon, as this is probably the safest switch into an Ice Beam that I have on my team other than Registeel, but I didn't want to switch Registeel onto a Nidoqueen. As he goes into Salamence, I see Intimidate, so I assume that he, at this point, is either Defog or just a special Salamence that doesn't need Moxie. So he goes in and switches out straight into Venusaur, as I click Ice Beam, because that one-shots the Mence, obviously, even from a defensive Vaporeon. This thing has base 110 special attack, so that does about 42% uninvested, so if I was any investment, that could have done a lot more. But this is his Mega, so he isn't Mega Jet, so he doesn't have Thick Fat. I go ahead and go into Talonflame here, mainly because this thing is my main counter to this, and I don't have another way to deal with this. So I go ahead and double out of Talonflame, because I don't want this in on a Rotom Heat as he goes into that. I have this mainly here for Rotom Heat and the Nidoqueen. I can talk really well. So here, he's just I wasn't scared of getting burned here, as he's clicking Scald a bunch versus me, and I got a Drain Punch off. Mainly just wanted to try to force it to recover, and me getting burned doesn't mean a whole lot because I do have Shed Skin, so I'm bound to get that at some point if I get burned, and this thing is pretty bulky, so I go ahead and switch out here into Electabuzz, hoping that he clicks Recover, because this is probably the turn that he would click Recover, because otherwise Drain Punch would bring him below half. So here I predict him to go into either Nidoqueen or Venusaur, so I just click Spec Psychic, and that does a whole lot of damage to Nidoqueen. I was expecting a little bit more, maybe even a one-shot, but Nidoqueen's pretty bulky, so it does live that. So here I just click Psychic again, not wanting to risk anything, and if he stays in, I can kill it and not have rocks up for the whole game. So here I just go on to Vaporeon, which, again, Water Absorb just walls the hell out of this Milotic, and I can just set up a Wish as he goes back to full with Recover. I go for Scald here first. Sorry, my bad. I'm a turn ahead of myself, as now he Ice Beams, and then I click Wish. Clicking Wish allows me to go, I think, out into Electabuzz here, as he goes out into Rotom. So, me expecting this to be looking at his team, I thought this was going to be defensive Rotom, because I felt like Salamence and Magearna were the two offensive mons. Even if the Salamence had Intimidate, I felt like that even if it had Defog, it'd be either physically or especially offensive. But no, he is Scarf, so he does a hell of a lot of damage to me, and that was kind of a misplay at this point, because I kind of needed the Electabuzz to break Milotic and the rest of his team pretty hard after Nidoqueen went down. So I just go for a Volt Switch, not thinking he was Scarf, so I took 80% for no reason, but thanks to this allows me to go straight out into my Revenant again. And I just click Drain Punch to be safe and just chip down whatever he brings in and force things to recover. This thing has been staying at full pretty much the whole game. He goes out into Nidoqueen. As I click Drain Punch again, I contemplated for, I think, a few minutes there, thinking I should click Earthquake just in case he attempted to double out into Nidoqueen, trying to get rocks up on my Drain Punch. Kind of sad that I didn't. I really should have, just because I was just trying to chip down the Milotic and I was at full health anyway, and going for Drain Punch wouldn't have mattered too much. So here he gets it in, and I see that he is... we already saw that he was leftover, so he wasn't... Or I guess Black Sludge, same thing. Basically, he goes for the rocks here, which suck, because I mean Talonflame is less useful, but Revenant goes for Earthquake, and we get the first kill of the game. So here, he goes out into his Balloon Magearna, and I'm like, okay, so this thing's on a balloon. It kind of sucks. I know I can take a hit, and I do have enough speed to outspeed a not speed invested Magearna. So we go for a Shadow Sneak just to break the balloon. I get a crit, which is unfortunate for him, and then he misses a Flare Cannon. The miss was really unfortunate because that would have meant my Revenant was really low for later in the game with rocks up, which would be really good for him. But now here he has to either switch out into something to wall me, which he has a lot of things that can do, or stay in and die to an Earthquake, because Earthquake does kill from this range. So he goes ahead and switches out into Venusaur as I click Earthquake, get a crit that didn't really matter too much. It did about 27%. So here he goes for Leech Seed as I just click Earthquake again. I'm just trying to wear down his walls because I don't have easy ways to break. I don't have an easy way to break this with rocks up currently, so I kind of just have to try to force a play here because I'm trying not to let my Talonflame take any rocks damage. So I go into Registeel here as he clicks Synthesis, which I kind of expected. Here I can get my rocks up finally. And if he does have, like, Salamence with Defog or something, I can force him to do that. So here, he just Leech Seeds me again, and it hasn't been really too much of a big deal that he's just Leech Seeded these mons. I just click Thunder Wave trying to paralyze this. He goes into Rotom Heat. To me, that was a good play on his part. Don't necessarily know if he knew I was going for the Thunder Wave. I could have just clicked Seismic Toss there, and that would have done, I think, like 40-ish% to the Rotom and potentially killed it. So here, I'll just go out into my Colossoil as I predict him to click Volt Switch. He clicks HP Ice. That doesn't do anything really. He does like 38% from the Scarf. So I get burned from here. I need rocks off my field, and I really don't feel like he's just going to sack his Rotom Heat when that does a lot of work to a lot of my mons on my team, being like my Registeel and my Talonflame. And if I can't switch into another HP Ice anymore, so I click Rapid Spin, hoping he'd switch out and getting rid of the rocks. And now rocks are off my side of the field for the game, which is amazing, and rocks are up on his, and he hasn't been able to defog if he has it on Salamence. This thing is really strong, but this is almost in range of a Colossal Earthquake, but I have to switch out because I can't let Colossal die here, so I just go into my wall to this, which was Revocanth. As he clicks Leech Seed, I just go for an Earthquake, again, just trying to trip down away his team. His team's really bulky, and this game was really hard to play through. Both our teams had some really good bulk that kind of just beat each other's bulk, so here I think I go for a... I don't even remember what I go for here on this, but oh yeah. I double out into Talonflame, trying to not be in on a Leech Seed. So here, you see that I switched out. I had contemplated him going for a DD here and wanting to taunt, but I also knew that I couldn't let my Talonflame take damage because having the priority Brave Bird in the back would always be nice versus either this when it sets up later in the game or even now if it was DD with Intimidate and he faked me out with that, I had no idea, so I just went into Vaporeon. Vaporeon was a safer play. He goes ahead and goes out into Magearna, which to me that was a good play on his part. Now Magearna can click Thunderbolt and just potentially do a lot of damage to me, but I just click Wish anyway. Here now I can go out into my Registeel because Registeel completely walls Magearna. Even an Orsphere does nothing, and he clicks Flare Cannon trying to pick up a kill on me. I just let myself take the Wish. So now he has to switch out, and I just click, I think, Seismic Toss here. Yeah, I click Seismic Toss. I do 27% to the Venusaur. He clicks Leech Seed again, and I finally get my Thunder Wave on this, which is what I was wanting. So here, I feel like he's going to click Leech Seed again, but I'm really banking on the fact that he gets paralyzed. And as I go out on Talonflame, he gets paralyzed. So that means Talonflame can kill this from this range, because it doesn't kill Venusaur from full, but it kills it from this range. So here, I can just click Taunt to potentially force it to not go for a Synthesis, as he just goes out hard onto Magearna. I think he's realized at this point I probably don't have Flare Blitz, with how I haven't clicked it once on this. I just, again, go out and Registeel, and he doubles out into my Lodic. I don't necessarily understand the double into my Lodic completely there. And he doubles again out into Venusaur, trying to catch my Vaporeon so he can get a Synthesis off. That was a good play on his part. I'll just set up a Wish because I know he's going to Synthesis there because he has to keep the Mega Venusaur healthy to beat me. And I predict him to Leech Seed here, and he goes for the Giga Drain and kills my Electabuzz. I was kind of upset at this point because I was like, I don't really know how I'm breaking my Lodic now. And basically I just go onto this, and I click Brave Bird this time because every single time I've been in, I've refused to click anything else, or refused to click Brave Bird because he's had Rotom Heat and Magearna. And I felt like this is the turn that he would stay in, and I get the most important damage I've ever gotten off, that I gotten off in this match on this Mega Venusaur. This Mega Venusaur is low enough after Rock's damage, it dies to a Vaporeon's Ice Beam, which means it is no longer safe to bring Venusaur in on Vaporeon. But I hope he doesn't know that for some reason, but like he doesn't really have a way to switch it in safely anymore, and that's the thing. And that's great, because both an Earthquake from Revocanth, an Ice Beam, a Brave Bird, an Earthquake, and a Seismic Toss from all my mons just kill Venusaur after Rocks up to this point. He goes and brings Magearna in, and I sit here and think for a long time, trying to decide what I want to do, because I didn't really want to switch Registeel in again, and I kind of didn't want Talonflame to be this low. So here, I feel like to try to catch my Registeel, he'll either go Rotom, or he'll go, I think back in, or either that or go like Mence on my Registeel, so I just go for a Roost here, or, okay, well, let me finish the Brave Bird, as I Brave Bird again, trying to kill the Venusaur off, but here, I click Roost, and he goes into my Lodic, so I get up to about 75%, 78% after poison damage, so I go ahead and switch out, because I still need to keep Talonflame in the back for the Venusaur, so now I bring my Vaporeon, who just walls this my Lodic, as I go for a Wish. He brings in Mence. I didn't click Wish there. Okay, that was my bad. I just doubled out into Registeel. I think I doubled out into Registeel, not knowing that Ice Beam killed at this point because I hadn't calculated the damage yet, because I'm good at this. So I go into Registeel trying to catch the Venusaur coming in on me when I could Seismic Toss it. He goes ahead and goes out into Rotom, and I click Seismic Toss this turn trying to get damage on the Salamence, and it just kills the Rotom because Rotom has pitiful health. So here he goes out into Magearna, and I just click Earthquake. I chew an Orsphere pretty well, especially since I knew he wasn't a Z move. So Registeel is still really healthy, and he's now down 5-3, which is amazing for me. It put me in a really good position getting the para on the Venusaur so it could not have the Leech Seed on the Talonflame to break my Gale Wings. So here, again, Vaporeon's 100% the safest switch I have into this, and I think this is a turn I click Wish. Yeah, I click Wish here. And he goes out into... Or no, yeah, I just go into Revikent as he continues to Scald me, and he burns me here. Very hard to remember everything about this game. I'm sorry, guys, if I keep messing that up. So here I just go ahead and go into Registeel, not wanting to let that thing take into the Scald since it's burnt, and he burns me again. Registeel being burned didn't really matter too much after the Magearna went down. I just click Seismic Toss once here, trying to make him either predict him to switch on to Venusaur or just trying to get chip damage on this. So I just go into Vaporeon again because I realized he's not switching out. Vaporeon gets back to full from Water Absorb. He goes down to Venusaur here as I click Wish, so this is the turn this happens. And then I can just click Ice Beam and that kills it. And then the Mence comes in, or no, not the Mence, that isn't yet. The Milotic comes back in, and Milotic literally can't do anything to me, so I just set up another Wish. And then I just switch out into my Registeel trying to get it back to full with the Wish, because Vaporeon's an amazing Wish passer, and I'm just trying to, at this point, keep differential above, because I feel like I have this game, because he cannot get rid of Vaporeon, and I can just continuously Wish into either Revikent or Registeel to continuously Seismic Toss this, and seeing how he hasn't brought the Mence in, I have a feeling that he isn't Dragon Dance at this point anymore, even with Intimidate. So at this point, we're just going through a few turns of me stalling him out until I finally just click Wish as he Draco Meteors me with Mence, and I just click Ice Beam, and he dies. And then he Ice Beams me, and then he just lets me kill the Milotic here, because otherwise that would have probably lasted another like 30-40 turns of me just trying to PP stall out the Milotic, because I couldn't break it any other way besides PP stalling it with Vaporeon. So yeah, we pick up a 5-0 victory week 1 versus the Melbourne Krookodiles. GG Glob. I felt like some of your prep was a little odd for this matchup. I definitely felt like Toxic should have came on Milotic. I know that you probably were scared of Flygon, but the Flygon didn't really do a whole lot to your team if you prepped well, and I could tell that you're also scared of Colossoil, which probably was a good thing because Colossoil ran through your team after I killed Salamence or got damage onto Milotic. So yeah, anyway, GG. This is our week 1. We start off with a solid 5-0 win, so yeah, happy about that. See you guys next time.